Let's go ahead and get started. Today's webinar will start with a presentation by Stephanie Elio, Vice President of Business Development at the Center for Legal Studies. Following the presentation, we will allocate approximately 10 minutes for a live Q&A session. During this time, you are encouraged to submit your questions via the Q&A feature. Our enrollment counselors will either respond directly or we will address your questions live. If we are unable to address your question during the webinar, we will provide our contact information at the end of the presentation so you can reach out to us after. Without further ado, I will now hand it over to Stephanie to start today's presentation. Take it away, Stephanie.
Thank you, Deja, and welcome to all of you. We appreciate you joining us today for the informational webinar about the paralegal certificate. Some real quick ground rules. As Deja mentioned, we've got some enrollment counselors in the background to field your questions. The rules are the same as always. If you submit a question, do us a favor and please make it relevant and be kind. They will do their best to address each and every one. We'll talk a little bit about who CLS is, the online learning formats, the self-study, online, live lecture, via Zoom, all the differences between those and which one may be right for you. We'll discuss the course grading and time commitments, student satisfaction for this program, a little overview of the course itself, what those learning outcomes are, how the interactive assessments work, some additional insight into our advanced courses, which become available to you after completion of the core certificate that we're talking about today, the paralegal, and then digital badges. Once we get through all that, we'll take a look at what the career outlook is currently, what the median salaries are, upcoming areas of focus, things like that, and the actual enrollment process itself. And I will try to be swift in relaying all of this information to you so that we can have that time for Q&A at the end. So let's go ahead and dive right in. CLS, Center for Legal Studies, was actually founded in 1980. So we have been around for 44 years, a very long time. About 5 years ago, we joined Barbary Global, and we are very proud to be a part of the world leader that delivers legal education, distance learning, training, and certification. For 44 years, CLS has been training professionals to work as paralegals. This certificate is all about practical, applicable skills that you will do on the job or need for the job. And why would you want to enroll with us? We work very hard to maintain affordable course fees. Our delivery methods are very flexible. As I mentioned, there's multiple formats that we're going to look and help you to determine which is the best for you. Because we are an industry leader in paralegal training, we maintain a very credible reputation. Our graduates come through this program quickly, efficiently, and they are out working in the field. A lot of our students actually come to us on recommendation from other graduates that are already out there and using these skills in the real world. Our instructional staff is highly experienced, and the staff that supports all of our course delivery, the tech behind that, the counseling that goes into helping you to make a decision and giving you information, as well as our partners, are all operating on a highly professional level. CLS offers many different courses in addition to the paralegal certificate. They can all be found on our website, which I'm sure many of you have already visited. We specialize in legal support staff training. So all of our courses will fit into that wheelhouse. Paralegal certificate is absolutely our flagship course. We do have the advanced program, and there are additional things like legal nurse consultant, medical professional legal consultant. We do advanced legal research and writing programs, victim advocacy, legal investigation. The list is long. There's a catalog available, and you can certainly view that. All of our courses, no matter what the topic and focus may be, are specifically designed and updated to remain on pace with the current industry. So we'll start by talking about that traditional online format. And it is by far our most popular format, has been for a very long time. We have courses that start anew every 8 weeks. When you look at our academic calendar online, you'll see that the calendar year is divvied out into 6 7-week sessions per year. Every course we offer is really completed in a 7-week term, so they're available 6 times per year. Paralegal is an exception to that rule. It does have 6 different start dates per year, but in order to complete the training, you would need to do 2 sessions because it is 14 weeks worth of training. The tuition, the course fee, pays for both. You will not pay that money twice. And the next start date that's coming up for our online format is actually January 13th. Within the online format, there are discussion forums built in. There is a dedicated instructor for that course. We train hundreds, thousands of students every year. On average, 5,000 to 6,000 students a year come through these programs. That doesn't mean that when you enroll, you're in this massive, giant class. We actually cap them out at about 35 students per instructor, and that is to maintain a low student-teacher ratio, and you are able to get the attention that you will need and deserve. There are weekly assignments in these programs. They are set by the instructor, and one nice thing about the traditional online format is every student has 24/7 access to the portal. Now, we use real licensed professionals and high-ranking paralegals to teach these courses. It doesn't mean that they are there 24/7 for you. They sleep just like you and I do. But the portal is open. So what will happen is the instructor will actually post what your assignments are on Monday morning. Traditionally, they're due by Sunday evening. So whenever you log in is perfectly fine. You get that information, you do your work, you meet the deadline on a weekly basis. And that's designed specifically to help you stay on track and complete your training on time. It is incredibly flexible, but you have not only the instructor support, you also have classmates. So you're in that class with, 30 to 40, somewhere in that range, other students, and those discussion boards have inclusion of your classmates as well. So we'll take a look at this format in comparison to the next, and that is our self-study format. So the biggest difference here is really what day you'd start. The standard online has those 6 start dates per year, the next one being January 13th. Our self-study format, you could literally start today if you wanted to. Start tomorrow, start next week, start January 20th, whatever day you want is perfectly okay. And you're not in a class of 30 to 40 students. You're in a class by yourself. So it is an independent study. It is designed for people that want to work at their own pace, not on that weekly cadence, that want to start on a non-scheduled date, something that fits their schedule. And versus completing in 14 weeks, you actually are working at your own pace and you're granted 6 months to complete. Now, what you're looking at on this screen says faster or slower than the traditional 14-week online course. Been here a really long time, and I'm going to tell you that faster, probably not. The 14-week standard online is a pretty quick click. There's a lot of training in this program. So if your goal is to finish faster, I would say it can be done, but you should have nothing else going on in your life, which is not the majority of our students. Many of our students have full-time jobs. They have kids underfoot. They're caring for aging parents. They have things going, they have spouses that want attention, lots of things going on. So A little slower may be more realistic. You still have that dedicated instructor. And if this is a format that you're leaning toward, it is my recommendation to you as well that you kind of have a conversation with yourself. Make sure that you are a good fit and that you bring the skills necessary to be successful in this format. And the top two of those would be that you have good time management skills and strong reading and comprehension skills. There's a ton of reading in this program, so you need to be able to manage your time well and read, comprehend, put it back out in your own words, and do that, and really be self-disciplined in setting your own schedule. Because 6 months, it's a much longer time frame, but everything gets in the way. When the longer timeline you have, it's easy to say, oh, I'll go back and I'll get to that later. Or, yeah, I've got more time. And then before you know it, you don't. So that set calendar it works really well in the standard online. Our next format that we'll talk about is actually a live lecture. Now, in the old days, pre-COVID time, we physically had instructors on campuses. You went into a classroom and you were in the same room with them for the entire training. COVID, obviously, we had to pivot and things changed. What we learned was that when we started delivering it on Zoom was students still got the same benefit of being in the classroom with the instructor, having that live instruction and interaction, but they didn't have to drive to the campus, and we never had to cancel a class for low enrollment. So it worked. It was a win-win. We have live lecture continuing. We have not canceled any classes in the last 3 years for live. They're available 3 different times per year. Not all of our partner schools participate in the delivery of this format, but many, many do. And the classes are designed by time zone. So we have a Pacific time zone class, a Mountain Time, Central Time, and East Coast. Any of the participating schools would be cohorted into those schedules, and you can determine which is the best fit for you by visiting our website. The next live lecture dates actually begin in early February, and they do vary by school, so you'd want to check our website for more information. As far as the live lecture goes, those programs are completed within 8 to 12 weeks. Again, custom schedules by schools. You are doing it by Zoom, so you can do it from your own home, the coffee shop, wherever you may want, and you don't have to drive. You don't have to fight rush hour traffic. You don't have to find a parking spot. You just need your computer. As long as you've got internet access, you can do that class. The live lecture does have required attendance. So you must be in your chair, in front of your computer, on camera, that you are there for it minimum 80% of that class in order to pass. Where the traditional online, you can log in and get your information at 3 a.m., 2 in the afternoon, 6 p.m. It really doesn't matter. So lots of flexibility in what's best for you. And you know your life and your schedule and your motivations better than we do. So we do offer you the choice. The training that you receive in these courses and the course fee you pay will be identical regardless. So you will complete these with a certificate of completion, be fully trained and ready to go to work regardless of format. It's all in how you prefer to have your instruction delivered. And this chart is going to recap some of the things that I just told you. So the online, really for students who prefer structured schedules and direct interaction with instructors by way of email. In the standard online, our instructors do keep some regular office hours, just like a professor at any college campus. They have a window of hours where you can set up an appointment if you're looking for some one-on-one time. And then our instructors also have full-time jobs. As I mentioned briefly, they are licensed attorneys. They are high-ranking paralegals. They're working full-time. And we intentionally have that mix of qualifications in our instructional staff because we want them to have not only teaching experience, but be current in the field. With the text only, which I did not review in depth, that format is really designed for someone that does not have access to the internet at all. For one reason or another, they don't. And those students are given 12 months. It's similar to an old-fashioned correspondence course. So if someone is in a position where they have no access to internet, they still can complete the course, get the training, and earn the certificate, but it would be all in writing and then mailed assignments back and forth. The experience, if you've got internet access, the experience in the first three formats is ideal. And we recommend that's where you select your format. How do we grade and how much time do you need to commit for this program? At CLS, it is very important to us because we want you to be successful that you are competent in all objectives, all the learning objectives that are in this program. You need to be able to go out in the real world and say, hey, I know how to do this. Therefore, there is no cumulative grading here. You can't do really good on one assignment and then unfortunately bomb another and get a grade in the middle. Not going to happen. 70% or better on every single assignment. That's weekly tests, quizzes, your discussion boards, you name it. Because when you go out in the world, again, I'm saying you need to be competent in all objectives. Next natural question to that is, what happens if I have a really bad day? I bomb a test, I bomb a quiz. It does not mean you're failing the program. Let's revert back to my earlier statement. We want you to be successful. If you have an underperforming score, what you'll do is connect with the instructor. They will provide feedback to you, get you back on track. It's possible you overthought something or you just went down a rabbit hole or, honestly, we're having a bad day. It's okay. You're going to have an opportunity to redo that assignment and earn that passing grade. And we will work with you to ensure that you earn the grades that you deserve. All of our courses are designed for busy adult learners. So, what kind of time are you looking at? Plan to allocate about 8 to 12 hours toward your coursework. That includes your online time. If you find that you are spending 15 plus hours in this program, you probably need to connect with your instructor because again, possible rabbit hole, you're overthinking something or maybe just a little off track. It shouldn't take that long. We've trained tens of thousands of students in the past 44 years, and that average comes from our experience with learners just like you. Things that may sway your time a little bit are honestly that reading comprehension skill. If you are the type of person that can read things on a first run and retain them well and spit them back out and understand the concepts and regurgitate them in your own words, which is very important to be able to do here, you're going to be on the lower side. If, like me, I actually need to read things a couple times when it's a new concept or some new thing that I have not been exposed to before. You may be a little on the higher side, but this is a pretty strong average. We do provide ongoing administrative and technical support throughout your training for all of our students, and you can reach us through legal studies support at Legal Studies once you become a registered student. And there are also tools within our LMS, the learning platform that you would use to have your course delivered. In regards to student satisfaction, there is an evaluation at the end of every course that we teach for every student that's ever enrolled. We also send out polls frequently. We have testimonials on our website. We try to garner student feedback wherever we can get it. And over 95% of past students have consistently told us that these courses are more flexible than other programs. We are teaching skills that are on pace with the current industry, and they absolutely would recommend CLS to their friends. They also are willing to return to further their education. That additional catalog beyond the paralegal certificate that I mentioned earlier, most of those classes are enrolled by previous students that have started right where you are today, and that's with the paralegal certificate. So the course itself, now on our website, if you haven't found it yet, you certainly can, and that is a full syllabus to the course, not only to this course, but every other course we offer. Under the About Us tab on legalstudies.com, if you hover over it, get your little drop-down box, you're going to see the word syllabi. That will take you directly to the full course catalog and a link to the syllabus for each individual course. They're really comprehensive documents. Not only do they go over all the learning objectives to tell you exactly what you're going to learn in this program, it will reiterate the book list that you need. It will go over the grading policies that I just discussed. Pardon me. It will also get into any kind of policies, procedures, and the reading charts are there, which is really nice if you want to preview that before you get enrolled. So this course goes into the following that you see in front of you. We teach legal research, legal writing, civil procedure, ethics. Ethics are a component of every single course we teach. Legal citation, evidence, torts, contracts, and amongst many other things that you'll learn in this program. If you ever have difficulty as you're trying to make your decision to enroll, or maybe you already have, and you have questions, you can always go ahead and contact our enrollment counselors as well. They are available Monday through Friday, excluding major holidays. They start about 8 a.m. and are there till 6 p.m. Central Standard Time. We will put up the contact information at the end. And there's also an email that they field all day, every day, and it is info@Legal Studies. So if by any chance you have not already established a line of communication with one of our enrollment counselors, you certainly can initiate that, and they will be happy to take care of you and answer any questions that you may have that I miss today. The self-study interactive assignments. So self-study in this respect is not referring to the self-study format, but the fact that you can do these all by yourself while you're in the online portal. So they're kind of like puzzles and games. There is a ton of new vocabulary in this program, words that you may not have had previous exposure to. I personally like to use flashcard exercises and things like that when I have to learn a really lot of new words. It's worked for me well when I was earning my degrees. With these interactive assessments, there are things like that you can do online. You can do them as many times as you want. They're free, they're there for you, they're not graded. They are literally tools to help you to retain the information and to test your knowledge of the concepts that you're being taught in this program. You get immediate feedback, and like I said, you can retake them as many times as you want. There are recorded video lectures in our online platform, so you can stop it, fast forward it, rewind it, watch it as many times as you want, and those are all tools that help you, again, to be more successful. We want to get you to that end of program where you earn your certificate and are ready to go put your new skills into use. I mentioned that after the paralegal, students are qualified to take our advanced paralegal certificate. Now we're looking at a map with California popping out there for a reason. California is the only state in the country that actually has regulations for paralegal training, legislated regulations. They are guided by the California Business and Professions Code 6450, which basically says that you must have 24 semester units of substantive legal training. 24 semester units translates into 270 clock hours, which magically is the exact time frame for the combination of our paralegal certificate and our advanced paralegal certificate. We designed that program to help our California students be in compliance. Now, California students are required to take both in order to work and bill out as a paralegal. The rest of the country, which many of you may intend to work in, it's a voluntary measure. But what I can tell you is the more knowledge you have, the more valuable you are, the more potential you have for promotion, additional responsibilities, added pay. They make you more marketable. So just because something is not a requirement for you should not be a sole reason to not do it. Students that present a little more ambition and proceed into some additional courses are able to add those to their resume ASAP. And for instance, in the advanced program, family law is a single topic, 7-week course. You can do it after you earn your paralegal certificate. If that's the area of law you want to work in, I strongly recommend you pick up that extra topic. It's not going to cost you a ton of money. It'll take you a little extra time, and it could honestly make the difference between whether or not you are hired or promoted on that next job. Let's take a look at all the topics available within the advanced paralegal certificate. So there are 16 of them. Each one of these topics is a 7-week course. Every single one of them is available every single session, which means 6 times per year. You do not have to wait for another session for something to come up. They are all available 6 times a year. They are only delivered in the standard online format. So you would need to take them in that format. Now, if you're a California student, in order to get the necessary clock hours and the semester unit equivalent, you are required to take 6 of them. Now, the cadence in which you can do that is up to 3 in a single session. Students have 12 months to complete them, California students, from the time you take the first one to when you're finishing the last one, you have 1 year. Clock starts ticking when you take the first one. And you can take them 1, 2, or 3 at a time in a single session. So the fastest track to complete an advanced paralegal certificate would be 14 weeks. In addition to the 14 weeks it took you to do your paralegal certificate, the core program. Now, completion of 6 earns you an advanced certificate. Go on to the next slide. Thank you. The one up there, you get the black one for paralegal. You earn that digital badge when you complete your paralegal certificate. You earn an advanced paralegal certificate badge when you complete 6, but you'll note that every single one of those individual topics also yields a digital badge. So if you want to take 1 or 2 or 3, all 16, which we have absolutely had students do, you'd earn an individual badge for each and every one. Digital badges are really awesome. You know, a certificate of completion, it's going to give you the course name, the school in which you took it, the date you started, the date you finished. Somebody's going to sign it and they're going to say you did it. Great. A digital badge does that plus more. You can use it in your LinkedIn profile, your digital profile. It not only says you completed the program, they can actually drill down into it and see what skills you learned and obtained by completing the program itself. When an employer is looking to hire you, they want to know what you can do. The digital badge will show them exactly that. There's also job postings in a digital badge, salaries. You can explore all kinds of different things in there. And it is nice to put on your individual website in your email signature. And again, LinkedIn is one of the most popular formats to use digital badging. If you want additional information about that, we do have a video that's prepared, and I think my enrollment counselors have just a standalone email they can send you for that, and there's additional information about them on our website as well. So let's fast forward a little bit. We've got through the training, we've earned that certificate. Next step, where are we going to go to work? Almost anywhere. Every industry hires paralegals. Law firms, absolutely. I mean, that's a given. But they also work in real estate, state and county agencies, corporations, finance, banking. The education system hires paralegals. Car dealerships hire paralegals to do contract work. There are a ton of opportunities. Nonprofits, corporate America, huge. They've all got legal departments. The beautiful thing about earning a paralegal certificate, and once you have these skills, you own them and you can take them anywhere. You stand out from the competition by having this certificate and the advanced education. And then, the world's your oyster, wherever you want to go to work. Also, work from home opportunities. The demand for virtual paralegals is bigger than ever. We have some students that want to work as independent contractors, freelance paralegals. There are other virtual, work from home opportunities within firms and organizations. Those are something that through the interview process, you would absolutely want to discuss with the employer up front if that's one of your goals, and find out what that individual employer's policies are, because they do vary. Sometimes it's an earned privilege, sometimes it's there out of the gates. It really depends on the employer. As far as freelance, there are things called legal document preparers, wherein, and there's also folks that, just contract out paralegal skills to do some work. If you intend to be freelance and not actually work for someone, but work for yourself, I strongly, very strongly recommend to you in this program, you communicate with the instructor and you pay particular attention to when that instructor is teaching the class what you can and cannot do legally with or without the supervision of a licensed attorney. That's a really important point, so I'm going to make it again. If you want to freelance, you need to pay particular attention to what you can and cannot do with or without the supervision of a licensed attorney. Paralegals are not licensed. The attorney is. So there are specific things that you can do without any problem, and there are things that do require their supervision. So you want to have a clear understanding of that. Career resource tools. First, everybody's wish, you finish the certificate, you apply to jobs, you get a job, boom, you're done. If you need extra help, we've got tools for you. We have a full career center. It's a one-step career resource center, and maybe it should say one stop. We'll think about that. But the kicker is it's exclusively for CLS graduates. At the beginning of the webinar, I mentioned that we are part of Barbary Global. For those of you that are not familiar with Barbary, Barbary's been around for 50 years, and their flagship course is Bar Prep. That is the prep exam that law school graduates are taking to pass their bar exam to become a licensed attorney. We are the leader in bar prep. There is not an attorney that you may be looking to interview with that has not heard of Barbary. They've all heard of Barbary. And they also have access to our Career Center. They post opportunities there. When they are looking to expand their legal support staff, we've got listings. We've got resources in there for advice on how to interview, what to wear, how to answer questions, career planning tools. We do resume review, job alert reminders. We also have a quarterly webinar series that provides tips from the actual hiring professionals. We have a return guest that's from Robert Half. They hire temporary legal staff. We also have folks that are from major law firms, finance industry, others, and they do a panel discussion every quarter and discuss what the outlook is right now, what kind of things they're looking for, and giving tips to the upcoming potential hires. You don't get access into the Career Center until you are 60% through the course. So that is not something that becomes available to you. It is an exclusive gated experience. So once you get 60% through your paralegal certificate, you will get an invitation to join the Career Resource Center. If your program's been going great, I encourage you to start putting together your resume during the last portion of that class. So once you earn the certificate, you are just ready to go. It also includes a blog and a resource guide. So some awesome benefits for our students. Down to the pay. 56 and change is the median salary. Median as because, across the nation, cost of living is not the same everywhere you go. It's going to have a lower cost of living and therefore yield lower salaries in, the Midwest or maybe in Kansas, rural Missouri, somewhere like that versus New York City or San Francisco. But they are relative. So the nice thing is paralegal and legal assistants are projected to grow 14% in the next 5 to 6 years, and that is much faster than all other occupations. We derive our data from the Bureau of Labor Statistics, and the website is there, bls.gov. They actually every other year produce an occupational outlook handbook that is on that website, and it lists salaries for all jobs. The things that I mentioned earlier about all the different industries in which you can work, that kind of varies a little bit with the salary too, in which field, in which industry you're going into. But in addition to the paycheck, paralegal also typically comes with benefits. So that's medical benefits, vacation days, things like that. What we're looking at now is just a small sampling of some of our college and university partners. CLS works in partnership with accredited college and universities across the nation. Currently, we have relationships with a little over 150 different schools. The likelihood of us having a partner in your neck of the woods is honestly pretty strong. If by chance we don't have one, I think we're at right now 5 or 6 states where we don't have a partner school. But if by chance you're in one of those areas, simply choose a neighboring state. We recommend you select the partner school to earn your certificate through, because if that's where you're going to continue living and working, that's the most recognizable name. So choose the one that is closest to you. And upon completion, that is the school that will issue you your certificate. The training is identical. The course fee is identical. The curriculum, the actual content of these courses belongs to and is taught by Center for Legal Studies, a Barbary company. The current course fees for online and self-study. Just gonna mesh those words together there. The fee for 2025 courses is $2,095. Live lecture and text-only formats are $21.95. Those are the course fees. They do not include required textbooks. For most of our courses in the rest of the catalog just require one book. Paralegal doesn't. It's got quite a few books, about 6. There are some ebook choices that you can make online through our bookstore if you want to try to reduce that required books cost to $400. Otherwise, you should plan for that. We've had ebooks available for quite some time. It's really interesting to me that even though the ebooks, especially the one main textbook for the course, runs about 180, students still choose that over the ebook. They want that physical book in their hand. And so it's available either way, your choice. We do use Westlaw as our legal research tool, and $89 for that gets you 7 weeks of training in Westlaw during the second half of the program. You don't need it in the first 7 weeks, but you definitely do in the second. And $89 is really a steal of a deal. For Westlaw is an online law library, which will train you how to use, and you'll have assignments that use it. There's 2 main law libraries in the country. One is Westlaw, the other is called LexisNexis. We use Westlaw because it gives us better rates for our students. If you can use one tool, you can absolutely use the other. The skills are transferable. Our volume, we are one of the largest resellers of Westlaw subscriptions in the world, and therefore they give us a very reduced rate, which we pass on to you. If you were to pay for the amount of access that you'll use in that 7 weeks in a pay-per-click environment, it would be a couple grand. So for $89, you're going to be able to put this on your resume that you are trained and skilled in Westlaw research, which is a huge plus to the employer because many of them are paying by click. So for you to enter their firm having the skill already and not needing to learn there on site is a leg up for you. We do have many payment options available. We use both Affirm and PayPal, wherein you can just at the checkout screen, click on it. If you click on the Affirm, it will allow you to inquire and apply for it. Whether or not you choose to accept it is up to you. It is a credit-based, but they accept a pretty wide range of credit. And it's literally a 2-minute process. So you may as well check it out at least. There's no credit ding for you to do so. You don't have to accept it if you don't want to. But if once you fill the form out, it'll go to a secure site. It'll do its review. It'll come back in 2 minutes. And then it will literally tell you what the payment plan would be for 18 months, 12 months, 6 months, 3 months, and you can spread it out over time. If you want to check out with your credit card and simply control your own repayment on your own card, that's fine too. But you do have options. If you're looking for additional options, there's payment information on our website, again, under that About Us tab, or you can go to the info at Legal Studies or call our enrollment counselors and they'll be happy to walk you through some other options that might exist. But these are the most common. And as promised, here's our contact information. Direct to us is 1-800-522-7737, info at Legal Studies. And you can visit our website, legalstudies.com. And let's go back and flash that next slide because people didn't get a chance to read it. We are offering a gift at the end of this year to assist you for your enrollment in the upcoming January and early February classes. And this is $100 off on either the online paralegal or the live lecture. So those live lecture classes are starting first week of February. The next online session begins January 13th. And you would simply, in the code, put GIFT, GIFT 100, no spaces, all caps, and it will take $100 off the course fee. This will expire on December 31st.
All right, awesome. Thank you so much, Stephanie. Let's go ahead and jump into some questions. I know that our enrollment counselors have been getting to them quite quickly in the Q&A. So a lot of them have already been um, answered. So let's go ahead and just take some of these live. All right. Is the exam proctored?
No, that's a great question. I haven't heard that one in a while. Excellent question. They are not, because this is not about memorizing a bunch of stuff to pass a test. It's about developing the skills, understanding concepts, and really being able to own them and go forward with them. And in the real world, if you don't know the answer to something, you'll look it up. So that's what you would do here. They are not proctored. You are able to do them in your own time and submit. There are deadlines for completion, yes, but not proctored exams.
Excellent, thank you. Is this course suitable for those with zero experience?
Not only with zero experience, but those that have experience, both. Actually, we have a lot of students that come to us that have been working as paralegals but never earned their certificate. Therefore, they've been a little stagnant in their roles and ineligible for promotion. I would say that accounts for probably 20, 25, 30% of our students. The other 70% have no previous legal knowledge or experience to bring to the table. They're starting from scratch. So this course will serve both sides of that coin.
Perfect, thank you. You mentioned that coursework takes 8 to 12 hours a week. Is that the same amount of time per week for the 8-week live lecture option, or is time per week more? Like, is it faster than with the 8-week pace?
Not really. You're going to do, the hours in class, and then you're going to have additional reading. So it's 8 weeks versus 14, but you're doing the same lessons. You're doing the same curriculum. So you probably spend more hours per week on it. That 8 to 12 is for the online deliveries for self-study and standard online. Live lecture, you're going to end up putting in a little more time. But you'll be done in 8 weeks versus 14. The live lecture is the most intense delivery that we have.
Perfect. If I have a minor in legal studies, will I still need to take the paralegal course, then move to the advanced, or can I just skip right to the advanced?
If you have the previous, usually we say at least a year of practical experience. If you've already been working as a paralegal, then you can certainly request an exception and just submit to info at legal studies, let them know where you're at. We don't know what you know what you know. So before you submit that email to ask for an exception to the rule, go to the website, take a look at the syllabus, go through the learning objectives. Every one of them is listed, and have a conversation with yourself. Do I know this? Do I know that? Yeah, I'm really good at this skill. I'm really good at this one. I know how to do this and that. But I never learned this. I didn't do that. Make a list, one side and the other side, weigh them out and determine for yourself. Sometimes students will find that even if they have a year experience, they've got some gaps in their skills. and it would behoove them to fill in those gaps. Others feel confident enough in where they're at to move forward. You are going to make that decision. We're not going to make it for you. We'll assist you, but ultimately it's your decision. Just do a little legwork first, and then come to us and we'll assist you with moving forward wherever you need to be.
Thank you so much. Another question we have here is, are there continuing education requirements for this course?
There in California, there are required CEUs, continuing education units that students need to get. And I want to say it's 4, but don't quote me, so I shouldn't even say it out loud. I would check with our enrollment counselors, but I can tell you that other than California, paralegal is an unregulated profession. So it's not necessary to get additional. But who wants to stop learning? I mean, there's a lot of lunch and learns that paralegals can do after they earn their initial certificate. There's paralegal associations you can join. Just as our instructors remain current and on pace with the industry, you will want to do so as well. So, the strongest learners and the most successful people take it upon themselves to be lifelong learners and continue growing.
All right. And then we have a couple questions in the chat here. Do you receive a certificate per topic studied? I'm assuming this is geared toward the advanced course.
A digital badge. In order to earn a certificate of completion for advanced paralegal, you need to complete 6. If you complete 1 or less than 6 or more than 6, you get a digital badge for each and every one. But an actual certificate of completion for advanced, you'd need to do 6.
Perfect. And then another question is asking if it's a possibility to test out of paralegal one. So basically,
No.
got it. Straight to the point. All right. Awesome.
Here, let me qualify that. These, and it's really very apparent when you look at the syllabus. Um, there's strong learning objectives in each one. You're not earning credits toward a degree in this program. This is continuing its professional education. So it's, in a university, when you're working toward a degree, you want those credits because you need X amount of credits to get to the degree. This is about earning the certificate of completion. You need to do the entire thing. So there's no clapping out.
All right. And let's see. Will we still have access to counselors/instructor contacts even after we complete the certificate for help, guidance, and things like letters of recommendation or employment help?
That assistance is in the Career Center. Instructors do not typically write letters of recommendation. They train hundreds of students per year, and that's not an expectation I would walk in the door with. The Career Center is there, and that you do have access to after completion. I'm not going to speak for the instructors. That is their prerogative, but it's not something that is required of them.
All right. Are you able to begin work as a paralegal after course completion?
Yes.
All right. And then do you
Some
offer, oh, go
Before
ahead.
you go to the next, Asia, some students even take entry-level positions before they are completed. And then the minute they get that certificate, they're in line for a promotion. So if there's an entry-level position that you can get while you're still in training, By all means, take it because your foot's already in the door.
And then how long do we have access to Career Center after course completion?
I don't have that answer, but it's a great question. Deja, do you have that answer?
Yeah, I do. You will always have access. I think once you complete at least 60% of the course, you'll gain access and, all of that login information to get into the career center. And then I don't think you would lose access after that. I think it's evergreen.
And I thought it was an undetermined amount of time as well. So thank you for confirming.
Yeah.
I learned something new every day too.
Let's see. Do we continue to have access to Westlaw after completion?
That answer I know. No, it is a 7-week subscription. Now, there's a caveat to that in that the $89 7-week Westlaw subscription is available to any enrolled CLS student. So as long as you're enrolled in a course, you can get 7 weeks access for $89. And you can do that as many times as you want. You obviously have to pay for it. But the only courses that it's actually a required tool for are 3. The paralegal second half of the paralegal certificate, the subtopic in advanced paralegal entitled Advanced Legal Research, and then the standalone certificate Advanced Legal Research and Writing. So those 3 courses require a Westlaw subscription. None of the others require it, but students, if they want access to it because they are enrolled in a CLS course, can purchase it. You can't walk off the street and just get an $89 CLS Westlaw subscription if you're not enrolled. So the rule for that is you must be an enrolled student.
All right, looks like we have time for just 2 more questions here, so I'm going to jump right in. Do any of the credits earned do any of the credits earned through this course transfer to college credits?
No, because there are no college credits earned. This is a non-credit continuing and professional education program. This is not a degree program. You are not earning college credits toward a degree. This
However,
is a job skills training program.
are there any credits earned, like continuing education credits?
There are some schools that offer CEUs for the program. Not all do. If that's something that you are trying to earn and that's important to you, then I suggest you contact the enrollment counselors. Send whomever your enrollment counselor is that you may have spoken with previously, or if you don't have an assigned one, then go ahead and hit info at Legal Studies and ask that question for them to tell you whether or not your preferred school is or is not issuing CEUs. It's the school's prerogative, it's not ours.
Got it. Perfect. Thank you so much. And our last question here is, do these certificates transfer from one state to another? For example, if they earn the certificate in Arizona, can they still practice as a paralegal in like New Mexico, for example?
Absolutely, yes. The courses are all taught on a federal level using federal law. The assignments you do tend to be state specific, so that's how we bridge that gap. But once it's earned, you own it, it's yours, they're your skills, travel where you wish. It is transferable.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you, Stephanie, and thank you all for joining us today. If you have any additional questions, please do not hesitate to contact us. Our enrollment counselors are always ready to assist you. We will be sending out the recording of this webinar via email by the end of the week in case you'd like to watch it again. Our next online session starts on Monday, January 13th. Or you can enroll in the course today and complete it at your own pace with our self-study format. Thank you once again, and a special thanks to Stephanie for her invaluable insights today. Have a wonderful day and happy holidays, everybody.
Thank you all. Happy holidays. Looking forward to seeing you in class. Have a great day.